Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my vlog. Thank you for being here with me today. I am Pamela, and I'm cheering you on as you run your race. So we're talking about goal setting. And last week, we shared about the importance of dreaming big. And your challenge was to take time to get quiet and with a pad of paper or your tablet or whatever and dream big and get heaven's influence in on those dreams and goals. What are 10 things you want to accomplish or experience in your life? What are 20, 30, 40? Get yourself on up there so you can have 100 on your check it off life list or dream list or whatever you want to call it. And then we begin to set strategies to actually achieve them. So this week, I want to give you 4 different laws that govern or circle around goal setting. Now, I believe that these goal laws or laws that circle around goal setting are from heaven. We have been put here on the earth with a purpose by a divine purpose or a design purpose by design for you. And so if we limit our ability to goal set just by our own insight, I think we come up short. But if we can tag in to what heaven has to say, then I believe that that the doors open and that everything we need for that greatness in us to come out will be revealed. So I want to talk about these 4 areas of goal setting with you today. All right. Number 1, reason. And I don't mean give me a reason to do this. I mean reasoning. Now, the problem with reasoning, and it is a law in goal setting, reasoning is based on our best logic right now, okay? And our best logic will create our current beliefs. So check it out. And I'm looking down at some notes here. Belief is what drives you and I, but our beliefs are always connected to our logic. So here's the thing. We cannot achieve past what we currently believe or what we can currently reason. So in my book, it makes total sense that we would want to look up higher, that we would want to implore, we would want to go after, we would want to reach for a higher reasoning than ourselves. So it is said that the cemetery is one of the richest places in the world. Do you know why? It's not because of all the gold and everything that's buried with the folks that are buried there. It is because of all the untapped potential that is there. The books, the cures, oh my gosh, everything that is there. I believe one of the main reasons that it is untapped, a lot of it has to do with our stinking thinking. Our reasoning can fail us. We have to appeal to a higher reasoning. And then all that greatness in us, as Les Brown says, all that untapped potential can come on out. So number 1, we have reasoning. Now I'd like to read a scripture to you. It says, "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts." And that's in Isaiah chapter 55 and verse 9. Why would I want to stay limited on this plane when I can appeal to a way and a thought that is so much higher than me? God's vision for me, God's vision for you is so much more powerful and greater than the vision that we would have on our own. I had for so long, my vision was to support other speakers, other ministries, to read others' books. And that's all good and wonderful. And I still do that. But if somebody would have said to me how many years ago, you know what, you're supporting all of this, but someday you're going to be the one being supported. You're going to be the one mentoring. You'll be the one training. that was something that in my heart stirred me and I loved it, but I really didn't have any idea how to make it happen. Wasn't even sure if it was just, you know, high pie in the sky or the pizza I ate last night, or if it was reality. But at some point along my path, I turned heavenward and I said, well, if your ways are higher than mine, then this that is in me that I desire to do, that others have said to me, you will do it. I'm asking that you begin to give me steps and direction. And lo and behold, that is what happened, of course. And here we are today, and I am still walking it out day by day, still changes, still growing. So I want to encourage you to get out of your head, get into your heart, and look up higher when it comes to the law of reasoning. Okay, number 2, memory. Now, the problem with this is memory can be good or bad or indifferent. Let me read you this definition. Memory is defined as recalling ideas, concepts into a picture that will connect with today into your future, or not into your future, into the past. Okay. So again, if I am recalling a past that has been painful, difficult, made me angry, been disappointed, maybe in the past, people that were supposed to support me didn't. Maybe the words spoken over me were not life. Maybe they were destructive. Maybe they were hurtful. My memory, my recall of that to the front of my mind and my heart and my life is not going to be something that's going to send me forward. It'll be something that could send me backwards or could keep me stagnant. Let me read another scripture to you. In 1 Timothy, it says, Timothy, my son, I am giving you this command, keeping in the prophecies once made about you, that you may recall them, that you may fight the battle well. Whew, I loved this. What we recall determines our fight. What we recall determines our fight. What fight? The battle. What's the battle? Achieving it. Getting through that stinking thinking. Not recalling the past, but looking to the future. Recalling what heaven has to say. Remembering the battles that were won in the past. Not just the difficulties or the challenges. Remembering the positive, remembering the battles won. Our ability to recall and what we recall determines the fight that we have as we go forward in our purpose and our destiny. I know you're hearing me out there and you're getting it. Have you been through a tough time where you had to choose what you were going to remember, where you had to choose what am I going to think about? I can remember coming out of a bad relationship and believing for a good relationship and wanting a healthy and right relationship. I've been married 25 years now. I have a great relationship. I have a good marriage. Now listen, my life wasn't always that way. And I can remember as I was starting to get involved 25 years ago with my husband, I was plagued with thoughts of recalling the pain of the past. If I had let that dictate me, well, my recall of pain would have demonstrated my level of fight. And my level of fighting for something good, a good relationship, a great family, my level of fight would have just, it would have fizzled. I wouldn't have had it in me because all I would have been recalling and replaying in my mind was the bad. So I had to begin to recall something else that was better, that God had a better plan for me, that there was a great person out there for me, and that I couldn't put the past on them. I had to look elsewhere for something fantastic. And I'm so glad that I did. So the power of memory, law number 2. All right, law number 3, your imagination. We talked a little bit about this last week, the power of dreaming. and how easy it was when we were children to just dream and play dress up or whatever it was that we were doing. And then we grow up and we get all serious about life and we stop dreaming. And then people have midlife crisis and all these other things that happen simply because they have become stagnant and they quit dreaming, they quit using their imagination. Your imagination is one of the most powerful things that you have. As far as I'm concerned, it's one of the top most powerful things that God has given us in this life, because our imaginations are capable of creating or starting possibilities in our lives. We talked about the Tower of Babel, so let me talk about that again. The Tower of Babel in Genesis 11, God himself said, according to the scriptures, what these people are imagining without God being involved in it, they were so united, so focused, the only way that it could be stopped was if they themselves stopped it or heaven came in and stopped it. Now that's how powerful your imagination is just on its own. It can stop you from achieving your future. It can stop you from having the best. It can stop you. Now, I'm not saying that it can't start you and push you forward, but if it could stop me from having the best, why wouldn't I appeal to a higher imagination than my own and have the best? Come on. I know you're getting it with me here today. Albert Einstein said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited, but imagination will encircle the world. This is huge. Don't forsake the power of imagination. And as far as I am concerned, I know I've said that a few times here, but heaven's imaginations, that's where the superpower is. 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 9 says, but it is written, no eye has seen, nor ear has heard, nor heart has imagined what God has prepared. God's imaginations for you, wow, you want to look at that. The only limit to your impact here in the present, for all that which is in you to come out, to fulfill your purpose by design, the only limit is imagination and then your commitment to it. All right, so that's number 3. Let's look at the final one, number 4, which I call intuition. Now, I'm a mom and I believe in a mother's intuition. But I do believe also that human intuition on its own can fall short. But I believe that when we hook up to heaven's intuition and intertwine that with our own, we can be spot on with what our intuition tells us. Intuition is the ability to acquire knowledge without recourse to reasoning. So it's this ability to grab a hold of answers without having to go, and reason it all out. The word intuition comes from 2 different places. It's translated in the Latin and it means to consider. And in the late Middle English word, it means to contemplate. So when we have intuition, it is a contemplating, it is a considering. Again, the level of depth of that or excellence of that is totally dependent upon the one considering and contemplating and what all is going on here at that time. Does that make sense? Intuition is a gift. It's a huge gift. There's been so many times in my life where it has paid off. But I believe that the greatest part of that gift of intuition is coming from heaven to us, from God to us, when we are guided, when we are directed, when we know that we know that we know. I like to say, know in your knower. I almost said Job. Job 38:36 says that God is the one who gives intuition to the heart of man. Wow. Why would you want these 4 laws at work in your life without divine direction, without heaven backing? So we have the first one, which was what? Do you remember what it was? It was reasoning. Then we have memory. Then we have imagination. And then we have intuition. Oh my goodness. Intuition. I want to give you an example of it. It's called communication. Other people call it prayer. Maybe you call it meditation. I'll call it a conversation. In a conversation, there's 2 parts. The first part is me talking. Hopefully, the second part of that conversation is me, listening. Part 1, talk. Have a conversation with heaven. This is what I'm feeling. This is what concerns me. This is how I'm feeling driven. What do I do next? Get out your paper and your pen and write it down. But the other part of that conversation is listen. Listen. Listen for that guiding within you, that guidance within. Listen for that small, still voice. Listen for that cookie cutter impression of this is the next step, that inner knowing. So many times with intuition, we just talk it. We don't stop and consider it. We don't stop and contemplate it. We don't listen. So when it comes to hearing from heaven's vantage point, looking down to us, or us climbing up from there and looking, we have to take time not only to do this, but to do this. Listen. I'll say it this way. Prayer is when we talk. Intuition happens when we let heaven talk, when we let God talk. So, wrapping up this vlog for today, if these are the 4 laws, do you want those laws active just at your level? Or do you like the idea of having inspiration that is beyond your ability impacting these laws and what you do? Boy, I sure like the idea of reasoning, memory, imagination, and of course, intuition being impacted in my life as I walk out my goal planning. So my suggestion to you would be sit down again, tuck away some time to talk to yourself, to talk to heaven, to get that guidance right now in these areas. What's my next step? When these 4 laws, when you realize that they're laws, when you realize that they can be, that they are working through you and you can appeal to a higher level of them, I'm telling you, you can have an internal GPS working in your life, directing you every day. All right, thank you so much for being here with me today. Please take time to sit down with your internal GPS, look at these laws, and take them and apply them to your dreams. You got a list of them now. Sit down and take one at a time and begin to apply these laws to your dreams and your goal setting. You're going to be so glad that you did. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And you know what? Please subscribe, comment, and if you believe that these type of teachings and information is important on YouTube, you let the world know, you let YouTube know when you subscribe and when you comment and when you share. So share it with somebody today. Have a wonderful, blessed day and be the salt and the light, as I already said. See you soon.